Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Hey, it worked.
What's that?
I'm in space.
Yeah?
I'm with Bezos. We're up here. Woo!
So you'll be back in like 10 minutes?
Yes, it's so exciting. I said, really? Shouldn't it be 20 minutes for $500,000? And he said, don't worry about it, my boy. He calls me my boy.
That's nice because you get the prime. He throws in the prime.
That's not why. He thinks my last name is Kindle. Humor, humor, humor. Oh, Josh, I'm having a heart attack from being unfunny.
No, but you came with a bit. You came with an opening bit, which
that's right.
I like.
All right. So now
it might not have been the perfect fit.
No,
but still,
not.
Still,
what do you want?
You came to the table. You came to the table with something.
I did. Well, I used to come to the table with something every show too, but it was a variation under the same shtick.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, "Hey, hey, I'll keep talking. Don't keep talking. I will too. Please. I find that very disturbing. Please don't look at things in the house that no one can see and say what they are.
Right.
Okay, then I'll continue doing it. That thing on the wall, I can't really describe it because my describing powers aren't good. What is that? Oh, is that something outside the window? Oh, I guess not.
You know, at a certain point, a long description of annoying things you do ain't that much different, I gotta say.
It's good. About a minute ago, you were delighted by it.
I was. So you brought that thing to the table, and now you're taking things off the table.
I told you I can't do the show anymore if you're going to have the dogs there. I told you have to bring them to a kennel.
Yes.
Between 11 and 12. And it has to be called something like Dr. Kennel. Eddie's Kennel.
Yeah.
Sam's Kennel and Board. All right, that bit's over. But look, 2 bits.
I'm not sure it ever really got off the ground, really.
I'm not sure it's a bit, to be honest.
Eddie's Kennel?
Hi, I'm Kenny's Used Kennels. The state says they're brand new, but the state says, what is this based on? They're brand new, but the state says I have to sell it used.
I have no idea.
It's that character that Eugene Levy used to do. Somebody pecks used fruit.
Ah.
Hey, you know what? As time goes along, my 1970s references are more and more pertinent.
Yes, as they approach their 50th anniversary.
Is pertinent the right word? Because I liked using it.
It is a word, yeah.
What? Oh, what crawled up your schmickle and had a hoo-hoo? Raceway Park. Funny cars.
I'm in extreme.
You have a funny.
I'm in an extreme amount of pain today. I will. Let me just put that.
Oh
on the
well, let's.
record.
Okay, don't bury the lead. What happened?
Old Jew Medical Corner. Nothing. I just got a real bad back thing going on today.
That is not nothing. That's something that has been bothering you for a long time, to the point where I would ask endless questions about it, and you would say, "I've told you all the information about my back. You want me to go through it again?"
Yeah.
Yes, but from the front.
Right.
When did it flare up?
Last night.
And what flared it up? I told you don't jump up on the bed.
I have no idea, but it's extremely painful all night and into the morning now.
Okay, I think you have to go somewhere. You can't just sit around and take it. First of all, now I have to be nice. Or I have to be interesting.
Sure.
2 things that elude me. What are you going to do? You have to go to a clinic or something.
I don't have to go to a clinic or something.
Yes, you do.
No.
You said you're in tremendous pain.
I'm in a fair amount of pain right now.
Okay, here's what I think you should do. You don't have to follow my advice. You go to one of those urgent cares and you go, I'm jonesing for some oxycodone.
Yeah.
Don't you want something strong?
No, I really don't.
Okay. All right. Well, I certainly haven't helped. I don't think I'm going to be a doctor.
I find trading back pain for constipation is a lateral move, ultimately, with the opioids.
It's not good. It isn't good because there's a whole line of things. I had to take Powerful Clean.
Because being constipated with severe lower back pain isn't a good match either.
No. I'm William Shatner. What you may not know about me is I'm addicted.
I'm all stopped up.
I'm addicted to oxycodone. And you know what? Also the CPAP machine. Keep buying those. But now with Flush It Out, you've got me now into the bathroom humor, and I don't want it.
Yeah. Well, and commercials.
You know what I've been noticing, and I don't know if you agree with me on this?
Yeah.
The TV shows are of various degrees of quality.
Yeah, that's not really what bothers me so much.
No, what does bother you then?
5, 6, 7. Ow.
It's not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
That's where the sting goes.
Oh. Oh. Oh, this is when we first started, we had nothing.
Yeah.
Any sound I made was in the front of the queue. Those are the days when, like, Andy, maybe there's a second song you wrote for Karen. Have you written a song for the current Karen everyone's making fun of?
Right.
Do you think it'd be good if I started to go hashtag TBH with you or hashtag IMHO during the podcast?
If you want.
Okay.
Yeah, just give it a little silence before it and after it, if you would.
Hashtag TBH.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
See, that'll come out nice and clean. Thank you.
Hashtag JK. TBA IMHO. Hashtag IMHO in case you thought that the tweet was in somebody else's objective opinion. Oh, I'm rolling now. Let's get our sweatpants on and write not the state of the industry, but 45 minutes of horrible.
The state of Twitter 10 years ago.
This guy wants me to open up a PDF. I said, hello. They have a new commercial for my favorite thing, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
At the mall, yeah.
What kind of, I have probably asked, what kind of a storage operation do you have to have for a place this large?
Yeah.
And I have definitely said to somebody, you're telling me blah, blah, blah only sells blue, 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 and they're making money? Something's going on.
I believe you've done the koi joke as well.
No, I would never touch a child. I'd be too scared.
I don't mean touching him.
No, I would do the koi joke.
Yeah.
I'd be too scared that the koi part would come off sexual,
yeah.
but I would probably still do it because it's so funny.
Sure.
Then I would tell the kid, look.
See, but here's the thing about those commercials, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about people turning into their parents, and you're their parents' age.
Did you just say, and your parents are dead? I mean, I don't think that's appropriate at all. I mean, Josh, winding up. I'm winding up. Listen, I suspected that you were happy when my mom, I knew you were thrilled when my sister died. But who would know you'd turn on me 10 days later? I said, my mom died. You called me up and you said, ha, 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 ha. You said, oh,
you know what? I'm the wrong guy to accuse of lording living relatives over you.
But you did start pitching immediately jokes for the Zoom, and I thought that was inappropriate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Again, you had to be the headliner. No, that's not very good. Thanks. You had to top Janet again. You couldn't go before your daughter. You couldn't have the common decency. This is funny stuff for my death conventions or whatever you do. Or
do I have to do death conventions?
No. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross to like celebrations. The 5 stages of grief convention. I'm booked for that.
Yeah.
How many people here only have one family member left? Show of hands.
Who's here for bargaining? Denials down the hall.
I knew you were going to. I knew something would be down the hall.
Yeah, I had to do an inventory and decide.
You know what I'd like a 12-step program for? These goddamn commercials. You know what I'm saying? I admit I am powerless over Limu the Emu.
Yeah, you just keep upping your insurance every time.
I don't know if you get the premise because I know sometimes you don't watch these things or they slip by you.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks the guy's like an asshole in the commercial. That's, I think, part of the joke. Like he's some kind of just stupid idiot who's this demented fool who just talks about how I can bundle my insurance. Isn't that the point? Okay, I'm done with that, and I have to go, Josh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but those commercials send me off in a different spiral, kind of. Because you go, here's a comic actor who is like right at that spot where it's like he's making money from this thing, like big money the last few years. So, but he's also like, am I going to be the Limu guy forever? But I don't want it to end because I'm making so much money. I got health insurance, but what I really want is a sitcom,
or anything else at some point.
But
right?
But he doesn't want this to go away. He doesn't want it to end.
He does not want it to go away. I understand that and I get it, but if I was him, I couldn't get over the fact that they were horrible. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I could save them if I was in his position. I'm not saying I'd be funnier with a toothpick in my mouth standing behind a guy in an elevator.
Yeah.
But you know what?
No one would get out clean from the Limu Emu commercials, no matter who it was. Yeah. Even the emu can't work again.
It is funny, though, it is on a treadmill, because what are the odds? They must have, how did they do that and get past the humane people?
There's another one where they're at a barbecue and he's like, hot dogs or chicken? And then there's this weird, I can't tell if it's the beat is supposed to be why the emu wouldn't eat a bird.
I don't know what that is. I can't.
Like, is it supposed to be awkward because he's a bird offering a bird to, I don't know.
Well, I don't even look at those commercials linearly. I let them wash over me, except for the one that I can watch over again. Hey, I do things crazy over here. Teddy bears that are strangled to death. Teddy bears that are strangled to death and remind you of an actual strangulation.
And drowning. Don't forget drowning.
And drowning.
Yeah.
Because I like to do things a little different.
Yeah,
I'm a serial killer.
The fact that they really went hard in on wet teddy bears
shows you
they're really at the end of a campaign.
It really is, because you can't tell. No one's there.
I'm starting to think there's not a lot more to milk out of the fake Liberty Island background set.
And nobody's there to slap him around. Not really, but say, okay, wrap it up, fellas. Like, they tried to take the guy who was Modo, the half motorcycle guy.
Oh, yeah. Motor,
and they tried to go a different way with him. He has a family now.
Yeah.
He has a wacky neighbor.
Yeah, well, they're trying to expand the motorverse.
If you live to 90, you will always take delight in that kind of a joke, and that's what makes you delightful.
Well,
and also,
at least there's something.
Well, no, there's more than just that. There will also be your legacy. What am I doing?
Ouch.
I'm roasting your death. This is less. I'd rather think of me in the motion picture home. Which, goddamn it, here's my.
I don't think it's really fair of you to make fun of my legacy as you chip away at it each week.
Okay, here's me. I'm going to come up to the desk of the motion picture retirement home, and I'm going to say I would like to apply for, and then you say we have no room. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, I'd like to apply for a room here at the motion picture retirement home.
Sorry, we're out of space.
Are you fucking kidding me? I gave $200 motherfucking a year to that goddamn SAG Foundation, and you're telling me that Daddy can't get a new pair of shoes?
Hey, you're welcome to go murder someone.
Okay. See, now I know why Saturday Night Live. And now I see how it's hard, Josh.
Yeah.
You can't just, like you always ended it with Benny Hill running around on a tricycle, but you can't end every bit like that.
Well, you can.
I like when you have a comedy thing that you do that I don't think anybody does. It's a sophisticated we're a two-hander, as you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I say something, you don't have it quite yet, but you go, oh no, you can. All you need is a pencil and blah, 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 punchline, bing, bang.
Yeah.
And that's why you're getting no money in the podcast circuit.
It's called buying time. I say, well, you can, and that gives me time for you to go, what do you mean? Or something like that.
I'm familiar with that, and please don't use it now because I think it's too early, but I'm familiar with that because I'll often say, Josh, before we go, I just would like to say, no, Josh, wait a second. Do not hang up on me. Josh, no. Josh. Oh, Josh, I forgot to tip the bit. Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, my friend.
Surreptitious is not your bag.
Did I tell you that we already did this bit, but I still think Dennis Miller sitting around practicing current names. Say pass. I've been driving myself crazy all week because I have a memory of me doing a wow, what the? And I know I had something that was a humorous Putin, even if it didn't sound like Putin. I can't get it back.
Yeah.
I lost 2 voiceovers this week.
Well, here's the thing you have to remember, or not remember, but understand, is that your Putin was always terrible. That was the funny part. So you didn't lose anything.
Yeah, but you will not admit, but you will offer that it was somewhat in the neighborhood.
No, it was nowhere in the ballpark. That was the funny part.
All right. Then maybe I should let it go.
You should. It's
because
not.
I'm getting
this isn't a fine-tuning issue.
Do you have a YouTube account?
Yes, I do.
Should I have one too? I think I'd waste more time if I had a quicker into YouTube.
If you what?
Had a quicker into YouTube. I never go on YouTube because I'm afraid I'll never get out.
Yeah.
Let me see what Dick Cavett had to say about Charles Manson. Let me see what Mike Douglas ever had Rich Little come on and do his thing.
Yeah. I love that about YouTube.
I know that I should, so, okay, I'll look into it. Is it expensive? Are they owned by Google?
I don't have like a YouTube TV account. I just have a page.
Oh, well, what's a TV? Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't have a thing where you watch all your TV through YouTube.
No.
Right. No, I don't want that either. I just want a page.
Yeah. It's super easy.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize for even bringing it up because as I brought it up, I was like, are you actually asking somebody, an adult who is,
Do you have pent-up video? You'd like to suppose.
It's not even no, but I'm trying to choose between that and Vimeo, and I'm trying to get everybody's. I want everybody's input.
I've got both going.
Okay, that's cool. And you have Vimeo too?
Yes, but I use Vimeo. I use Vimeo for actual business stuff, and I use YouTube for, whatever.
Right. I also want to say before I forget, not to remember, I saw the rest of that Some Kind of Monster, and I've seen it. I think I've watched it 2 or 3 times now. Yeah. It could be my favorite documentary. And you know what?
I wouldn't. If you said that's my favorite documentary, no, I would not. I would not. If someone said that was their favorite documentary, I would not come at them one bit.
Because it's deceptive too. Just when you think it's a Spinal Tappy type movie, you start to care about the various. I never care about Phil, the psychiatrist. I think
he's a shyster.
And when he says at the end, I just want you guys to commit to the commitment, or out of the commitment.
No, when he's trying to hold on for dear life at the end,
that is very hard to watch.
It's fantastic.
You know what? Maybe I see. Not that I could ever have been a shyster like him.
It's the conversation you wanted Brian Wilson to have in like 1970.
Didn't you cringe every time he would say, like, when he put the little philosophical notes around the studio?
Yeah, or any time he was talking in we.
And then I don't know a lot about drumming except I want to play drums.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like his drumming at all, really, but I enjoy watching him play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy their music at all, really. So that's
you would if you saw it 3 times in a row.
No.
Okay, how about this one? Hey, 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 gonna, that's not bad.
Like, even at their best, when they're like really hitting the groove in the movie, it's like, this is the best thing a 17-year-old could come up with.
I like that kid though. He seems like a kid, but I mean he's not now. I think he's like 50. Is the Kirk kid, the guy? I love that part of the movie. It seems so Spinal Tap where they start to come up with alternative types of music.
Yeah.
And the one guy's going, it's not exactly steady. You know, it's like, it's not solid. Well, we're not doing solid anymore. It's so good. Oh, I know I'm late to the party. But
at least you made it.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody who was involved with it. No, do you know of any good examples of that kind of music? Or is it just, I'm not attracted to it sonically, so why even dig in?
Yeah, I'm not attracted to it sonically either, and I just never have been. But that's because I don't listen loud.
I can't do.
I've never been a volume cranker, and that music sort of is predicated on listening loud, you know?
I enjoyed volume when I used to see the Grateful Dead in groups, and I was on acid, I could benefit from it, but thank God I didn't, do it for more. I was never one of those people leaning on the front speaker.
Right.
I think I'm okay. After all my years in the music business.
I think, yeah.
But, oh man, I would like, and then here's the downside of not just Netflix. Here's the downside of what I want to have, be the case. Like, Discovery Plus, if you just ordered that, would be just a horrible thing. It'd be just awful.
Yeah,
if you paid extra for that packaging.
Yeah, you wouldn't find what you're looking for, probably.
So they go others like this, and within 2 or 3, there's nothing. They got nothing. There's not a lot of others like this.
Right.
I want to see the Rush one. I don't know if you saw that one.
No, because I don't really care enough.
I don't care enough either, but I thought they seemed like nice fellas.
I think they're nice fellas, and I just don't think I'm going to get the kind of ironic pleasure I want out of the Rush one.
Right, and I'll never enjoy the baby tom thing and a tom thumb thing and what you gonna do? Tom Thumb. Is it Tom Thumb?
It's Tom Sawyer, but
Tom Sawyer paint the fence. Did Tom Sawyer paint the fence?
And what do you say about his companies? What do you think about society?
It's so cool to me that even the music that you don't like that much, you can still sing the songs of.
Catch the myth.
So there,
you know what Rush fans have though?
What?
No sense of humor about Rush.
Dear Andy and Josh, I did not appreciate.
I'm taking back my coffee now.
I always wanted to like one of those kind of groups that I never could have liked. Well, I never was going to get into Yes because there was a guy I hated who just kept saying the only music you'd ever have to have would be Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like sick of that guy.
I got a 20-year Yes fight going with Frank Conniff.
But he's not arguing like this guy saying the only thing you should listen to.
No, but he will back Yes till his dying breath.
Because you were the one song, Close to the Edge, Close to the Backside.
Nope, don't know it.
Who did this one? Jinka-doom, boom, boom, bing, chicka money, juka chang, chinka choom.
That's Pink Floyd.
That's a good song. Now,
I actually took the time to learn that bass line.
Oh, that's a good part of the movie too, where all the people try to be Metallica bass people.
Yeah.
I like Pink Floyd, but I don't know.
And I love
anything.
the guy they chose, by the way.
Yes, I love that guy, Robert Trujillo.
Yeah.
I'm actually like you start to root for him. And then later when he talks about, there's a follow-up short film that probably only I've watched, or like a 12-minute film. And he was saying like, when that happened, he was like completely wasted. He only got 2 hours sleep. And so he seems like a sweet man. It just I want to get into the music because I like the documentary. So there has to be 3 examples of the great, but you know what happens when I start to want to look for things that I like? I end up with Van Halen, and that's not the Thrasher sound.
No. Another good, very funny Musicians Are Idiots doc is called Dig.
Oh, I'm sorry. I started to talk into the thing. I was going to write it down.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about these 2 bands, the Dandy Warhols and the Brian Jonestown Massacre. and it's just it's like
Brian Jonestown Massacre.
and it's like it follows these two bands, and I actually kind of like the Dandy Warhols, but in this movie especially, it's just like there's like the Brian Jonestown Massacre, which is led by this guy who's like, you know, authentic artist but douchebag, you know, like artist who alienates everybody basically, you know. And then there's the Dandy Warhols, who's just a much more cheerful kind of gang, and they're like drafting their cred album, like they shoot an album photo shoot in the Brian Jonestown Massacre's apartment, you know, because it's more authentic looking, you know. So it's just, you know, it's like these two bands, and it's just showing the different ways that they're navigating the same space.
Is it made back then?
Yeah, it's from the 90s, I think. Maybe the early 2000s.
I will see that very soon.
Yeah, it must be the early 2000s, I guess.
Man,
but it's a good rock doc.
I love the one that was the Decline of Western Civilization. Is that what it is? Like the Decline of Western Civilization, which was that punk rock.
It was punk rock, and then the second one was the metal years,
which I didn't see.
And then there was I think she made a third.
And then there's a third year about all people who say that their songs are like their children. I've heard several. You would think that would be, even in this doc, that guy Jason, and it seemed like that was scripted. The guy who left the band, the first guy left the band.
Yeah.
Who said, would have been nice, fellas, if you said go to do I wish you'd said in 1981, Peter, go to an AA meeting?
Yeah.
And then the other guy, who formed the other band, I'm sorry.
Was that Jason Newsted?
Yes. So good. I love it. It's like, oh my God. It's like Schadenfreude or something for my own anger. My own anger is undeserving compared to some of these examples. You know, because I'm more in control with not wanting to be looked like I'm bitter.
Yeah. Well, but the satisfying thing is that even wildly successful bands still have to deal with band shit.
I know.
Punishment for being in a band is being in a band.
And that's what I love. This was I am not the bands I was in. I'm not saying we were smarter it's like had names like Merging, Traffic, and Terrible. I mean, I can relate to every horrible thing. And every stupid thing that you would say if a psychotherapist brought you all together and tried to make an album let's get to the bottom of what. Well, I hate this guy. Let's do that then. You know, he's like my acting teacher. You want to fight or fuck? Or, you know. Oh, that was so good. So good. And also, I go to Joe Berlinger. He's the director of that movie. And he directed all three of the Mississippi 3. What are they called down south? The West Texas 3. The guys who were in jail and then they got out of jail.
Oh, okay.
And then he said, I've made a lot of movies people like and one that people hate. And I figured it out very quickly what it was. He had made kind of a positive documentary about Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
And how could you like that?
All right.
Have I hurt your feelings? Did I? No, I'm just kidding. But has something happened during the podcast where you decided? I'm just joking. Not really joking. I'm not joking with this voice in my head.
What are you feeling has changed in me?
Nothing.
All right.
So that's why I exited out of it.
I'm just trying not to make wincy, grunty noises at this point.
Oh, that's right. Well, you see, here's the difference between me and you. This is, what I would be doing right now?
There, Dr. Josh, just giving you an update. Still hurting. Hurting her.
Well, why don't we just try and do it? No! I would not. I would be shutting this goddamn thing down.
Yeah.
But you, on the other hand.
As Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse would say, pain doesn't hurt, man.
Have we talked about that movie? Because everyone loves that movie, like, in a sarcastic way. They say it's the greatest movie of all time.
Well, it is a great movie in its way because it allows both pleasures to take place. You can watch it with full ironic pleasure, and yet it's still a well enough made movie so that you're not suffering for your ironic pleasure. It's giving you everything you want from a good movie and a bad movie.
So it must be true. Bill Murray loves it. I've heard Tom Sharpling loves it. Many people love that movie.
Yeah. Just, Ben Gazzara as the bad guy. Come on. But it's got enough like laugh out loud bad pieces of dialogue in it. But it never stays for too long and it's bad internal philosophy or any of that,
Did you ever see the Diagnosis Murder first of all, I love Dick Van Dyke. I have never seen that show before. And I just figured out after watching it for 20 minutes that he's not a detective.
Yeah.
He solves crimes at the hospital.
You know more than me.
Diagnosis Murder. Dr. Van Dyke. His name isn't Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Dr. Van Dyke. What do you think happened?
He's Quincy, is what you're saying.
Are you telling me that within 20 minutes, an entire stadium of people could drink from a poison water fountain?
Oh, I hurt myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Diagnosis Murder, where Dom DeLuise plays a very mean comedian who's killed. It's so great. I've been posting pictures from it. You got your Scott Baio's in it.
Yeah. Wasn't Scott Baio like his sidekick in it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Wait. Oh, he's in that show you're saying as a character.
Yeah, he's a regular,
yeah.
I think.
And I think his son's in the show. The show seems so, except for the fact that Dick Van Dyke can literally act in any situation and sound plausible.
Yeah.
It's not watchable.
Yeah, but you can't muster up hostility for Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, no.
So
I'm suggesting.
So it's a bad ironic watch then.
No. This one's fun because there's all these people that you see like, I love like Joan Van Patten. She's in it.
Yeah.
The 80s Enough guy is in it with a toupee that there's no reason he needs to wear. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Who?
It's like you're
Dick
looking
Van
at
Patten is in it?
Yes. And that's right. Now he's sisters with Joyce, right?
With Joyce Van Patten? I have no idea if she's...
No, wait. No. Am I getting a name wrong? Who was 8 is Enough?
That's Dick Van Patten.
Yes. He's in it with a toupee.
Okay.
And Joyce Van Patten. And how is she related to the Van Patten? Is she not related?
I suspect she's his wife.
Wow. Why am I pausing as if we're going to...
My wife grew up in the Valley among the Van Patten kids.
What's that? Oh. Well, I met him. I'm not trying to do this. I did meet Dick once. He seemed very sweet.
Yeah. They were a big tennis family growing up.
Oh, they were all probably pretty good.
I think so. I mean, I think Dick had a compound in the Valley.
I
remember as a kid, they were always on the Battle of the Network Stars kind of things with the Van Patten tennis thing.
Why didn't I not know that Allison grew up amongst the like showbiz people?
Well, she grew up in the Valley, so.
Oh, I see. That's right. Because in the Valley, I remember the first time I went to Susan's house when she lived in Toluca Lake, and then I can't remember his name, but he was like, I smiled at him. He's going into a 7-Eleven. Whoever he was.
Right. I remember like the first week I was in LA, my friend Joni took me to Sandra Bernhard's house, who was like her friend. And Sandra Bernhard lived next door to Larry Tate.
Oh, this must have been like heaven in a way, right?
Kind of.
Or were you nervous?
I was kind of neither. I mean, it was just
social situation.
Yeah, it was just stopping by someone's house.
Right.
So it wasn't like a party.
We are on the 4th year of Control. It's not called Control. The Council. It's not called the Council.
No.
The Crown.
Yeah.
And holy moly, do we love it.
Do I get to make a dental joke again since you keep forgetting?
Please do.
Right.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I've been watching, and The Crown, I told you, The Crown gets better every year.
Is this the Princess Di year now?
No, I thought you were going to say.
No, we passed.
I heard it only last 10 years, The Crown. Oh, I'm up to the. I would have accepted. We're up to the implant years. No, I'm to the early die years right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is how season 4 begins.
Gotcha.
And then what's her name is playing Margaret Thatcher, who was I believe was a horrible human. I'm not going to get into it. I know you're a big fan.
Who is it? Jillian?
Yeah, and she is over the top. She's like, it looks like her head's, like, it's like, why is your head falling down? That's not how Margaret Thatcher didn't walk around. Oh, my head's heavy.
She's playing it like a Pez dispenser.
Yes, wants to be where Your Majesty. I am like Reagan, but a lady from the British area.
Yeah.
We'll stop the Republicans.
From the British area.
Tonight on Expedition Boulevard. Yes, Dad, I know that you've been sad since Mom passed away 7 years ago. After that, it's Pipe. Tonight on Pipe. Things get more confusing, but not entertaining.
That's
on
right.
Pipe. Oh, Josh, this has been a real. I'm not leaving.
No,
You're not getting rid of me.
You can't leave without. I need you to bring up your latest diagnosis.
My latest diagnosis is, I am taking the metformin. I'm back on the metformin, 500 milligrams once in the morning, because even if you're taking it before, you got to start slow. I'm on.
All right, that's enough for me to play the sting.
I have type 2 diabetes. I have it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got it.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Wait, but hold on a second, Josh. You cut off. I had, I had gold.
We already talked about your metformin last week, so I just needed I needed you to talk just enough about it to get the sting in.
Do you know my father worked at a glucophage? I'm not kidding. He worked at a glucophage factory. This is not a joke. What was his job?
He was
as a glucophage factory. You should get this. I provided you with all the clues. Job at a factory based on the name of a drug I just said.
I'm working it. I'm trying to work it. Shush. He was the glucoformin?
Metformin.
Oh, okay.
Because the name of the drug is metformin.
Yeah, you can't. That wasn't fair, really. To give me
you know what's not fair?
The glucophage as the generic name and expect me to know. Yeah.
But also that I can't realize you're trying to do something. Why can't I realize that? You said, Andy, shh. You know how often you've cut out these? Shh. Josh, don't say that. Just shh. Why are you doing that? Because you don't shut your fucking mouth. People don't hear too many of those, right?
No, not many.
I love creating an image of you like being Joan Crawford off camera.
Yeah.
And I'm the put upon blowhard?
Well, some days you're Christina and some days you're the Pepsi board.
Oh my God. You just lost me. Christina?
Yeah.
Should I know this one? There's no way I should know this one. You've gone to a different topic.
No, Christina Crawford would be Joan Crawford's daughter, author of Mommy Dearest.
Oh. I thought it was her daughter. Oh, I sometimes mixed up. There was also a son. It was Bing Crosby's son, wrote the whole thing about him. That's true. It might be true, Andy. Still doesn't help us here. No, but I thought it would be a nice addendum.
Michael Florax used to do that ball went whap, just like the sound it makes when I hit my son Gary.
See, that you probably couldn't get away with now, but I liked it.
He did like a whole run of it. That's a real bang-up job, just like the bang it makes when I hit my son Gary.
You know what's terrible is I never have, I feel bad. I never heard. I don't think I've heard. Now I don't think I ever heard Flo Wax directly.
No,
I would have liked to have heard that.
He was. He liked to write on stage.
Yeah, but it would have been fun to catch him because. So you must have gone through Comedy Works. Is that what happened?
No, he came through Minneapolis a few times.
Oh, and we'll be back with Andy tries to remember things from the old days. I was the maroon raccoon for 2 years. That's enough of that. Now, are you feeling better?
What is the maroon raccoon?
Maroon raccoon is there was a Just for Laughs is a festival, but it was also a newsletter.
Right. Okay. Now there it is.
And the maroon raccoon was one of the people who ran the newsletter.
I could not remember what it was, but I knew it was there somewhere.
And it existed, and I'm surprised it's not still going today. It was like coded inside jokes about the goings on at various condos.
Right.
Without the names being supplied. Oh, I think sometimes the names were supplied. Somebody saw Bobby Slayton yell at a
And Just for Laughs was the actual newsprint newspaper one.
Exactly.
Whereas Rave and Laugh Tracks were the in-club glossies.
Hey, Josh, did you read the article in Just for Laughs about how to get your NACA set together?
Yes.
I read so much. I mean, I never followed this, but I probably read every single article where there was these stupid things like where people, the club booker, Anita Mitchell, and her take.
Yeah, but the real thing of it for comics was looking through all the club listings in the back, seeing where your friends were playing, and then going, "Oh, good, I can call him to get into that club."
It was a magic. I will say it was a magical time.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, I don't mean like it contained magic, and it was spiritual, but it was fun.
I'm reading Rich Scheidner's book right now because I'm working on a little thing with Rich Scheidner.
I love Rich Scheidner.
And
I've said that before.
And he in his book, he goes, he's talking about those mid 80s, early 80s comedy scenes and does a very good job of listing a bunch of comics from each scene.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it was very fun to go see it, go through and pick out the names and go, yep, worked with them.
I hope, is this a book that's available?
Yeah, I think so.
What's it called?
I think it's called Kicking Through the Ashes, My Journey Through the 80s Comedy Boom, I think is the whole title. But Kicking Through the Ashes, I think, is solid information. Okay,
well, I'm going to get the audiobook. I get the audiobook, and Tom Sharpling's book is out now. It's supposed to be great. I've gotten the audiobook.
Yeah.
Now, here, I'm going to make a guess. Yes? Oh, you probably already told me.
What?
You are an Audible.com member?
Allison is.
And so, like, $10 a month?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't ask these questions.
Because I keep buying those things individually, and I say, am I winning?
Yeah. Well,
I know
is Audible an all-you-can-eat kind of thing for $10 a month, or is it just?
I think it is kind of, but maybe there's different tiers. No, but I think it's like 15, maybe it's $20 a month now. But yeah, I think you get to listen. It's like Apple Music.
Yeah.
For audiobooks.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the audiobooks because
you like to read.
Well, I like to read, and audiobooks are like a thing to make me fall asleep.
Yeah, I know, but to me, it's been a lifesaver. And if I can, and I think Sharpling does his own book, and I bet if Scheidner did his own book, that would be so great. Like Scheidner, Chapter 1. I love his voice. I'm Canyon Man.
Yeah, he was when I started, he was the shit.
It's unbelievable that we've almost had the same career in L.A. minus a year or two, because that's exactly right. I loved his act so much. He was so hilarious, and he had just gotten sober when I saw him.
Yeah.
And he was unbelievable. I just loved him.
Yeah. Well, I'm just starting on this thing with him, but I've enjoyed him so far.
Well, I don't know if you guys got started, but I'm going to contact him today because, I'm not sure what you've offered him or if I can lowball it. Sure. I'd like to, what I'm saying?
We all know you can lowball it.
Is that a height joke or a Jewish cheap joke?
No, it was, let's see what it was. It was a shot at your capabilities, probably most of all. And then maybe a shot at your actual scrotum and your age.
Yeah, that's why it kind of works. And no matter how you take it.
Yeah.
It's like interpreting a painting.
And then height third at best.
Right. It would be, I'd like to flatter myself by thinking it was a height joke. I enjoy this so much. This to me is all it's. Well, it's not all that it's about, but it's close.
What, the show or life or what?
What's happening right now? You know, I swear to God, as you were saying that, I didn't know the point I was making.
Yeah, last I heard, the hokey pokey was what it was all about, so I'm not sure.
And did you know that Kathy Lavin joke?
I'm sure I did.
Oh, yeah. She used to sing this song, then she'd go, imagine if that's really what it was all about.
Oh, yes, I do know. I wasn't meaning to steal from her.
No, like all of a sudden. You know, I was friends with Josh, I think 20, 30 years, and I said, holy moly. He's got some kind of a Robin Williams thing.
Right.
Yeah. But I, because of the OCD, now I look back, and I was easily susceptible to anybody accusing me of anything. Yeah. That's how I reacted.
No, you can still get that from you pretty easily.
Oh, God.
You even do it to me, where it's like if I say a word in common with a bit you used to have, you're like, were you doing me from 1982?
Yeah, but you know what that's the fear of? That you're going to think I took your thing. It's always that.
Right.
It's always that, I have to tell Josh.
No, I know. That's
But
the comic thing. I did a bit about that. I do a bit about that.
I used to do a bit about being afraid to tell another comic. I used to do a bit.
Right.
Josh, I don't know what you're trying to fucking prove.
We're not even at the hour yet, you piece of shit.
Oh, do we do an hour?
We do 2-hour show, and
I didn't even know, you piece of shit. You literally called me that without any kind of
lilt to say I wasn't kidding. There wasn't a lilt to say I was kidding.
I'm very sorry. I apologize for my behavior. I apologize for who I am, and very annoyingly, I try to apologize for any future things I've done to people. And people don't like it. They don't buy it.
No, you don't get that on account, really.
Look, Josh, sometimes I get angry. It's not right.
I'm sorry I'm stealing your car next week.
Right. Josh, I'm sorry. I'm going to, I was trying to come up with a funnier thing than steal your car. Why? You already had it.
Andy, I'm sorry I hung up on you.
Hey, how are you today? Good?
Why, yes, I'm good. How are you today?
Are you?
Good? Are you fine?
I am fine. How are you? See how our codes work better now?
No, I think you can just assume that it's working now.
That's a good fallback.
Yeah.
So maybe we can even relax. Maybe you don't even have to check to see if the recording light is on. You know what would be good if you had a recording light?
That would be good.
Yeah, I would like a desk lamp, a recording desk lamp.
My thing just has a shrug icon.
It has Evan Handler.
Yes.
Do you get that?
Not really.
It's like you know. It's clue number 2. It's like you know.
No, I know.
It's like you. What's that?
Wasn't that wasn't that the Bad Seinfeld ripoff by Peter Melman?
I did not. Those are your words. But yes, and it was Evan Handler played the friend, and his name was Shrug. He was like a sitcom character. Hey, Shrug.
Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it.
And then they would say Shrug.
Good pull.
And then they would say Shrug. What do you think?
Remember that thing that was 6 episodes in 1989?
Now, there's where you're lying. It happened to go for 5 years.
It did not go
very
for
well.
5
They
years.
never moved it off from Thursday night.
It did not go for 5 years.
It's like, maybe 6 episodes. It's like,
I would say. I'm gonna go 95 with that one.
I'm gonna say 97.
I think you're probably right. Now that I think about it, because I remember getting the pilot script, and I wasn't getting pilot scripts in 95. So.
Are you looking it up?
No.
Oh, well, we do it later, right?
I'll have James Mason fact check us. Yes, gentlemen. It appears that the show ran from 1999, so you early balled it appears. Had rather sporadic airings over the next year and a half. Now, if you'll excuse me, I shall return to death.
Now, I had something today that I've never had. Well, I've had it in my life before, but I never appreciate it. I had a bialy today. A bialy.
Is that? I hope that's not your bagel workaround.
That was really good. I went so long with that.
You did, and yet
I could have done. Were you concerned? No, you weren't concerned,
no,
right?
No, I knew what was happening, and I knew I was going to win.
It is my bagel workaround.
That's terrible.
What's wrong? It's smaller.
It's a bagel. There's just more onions. It's just a gassier bagel.
It says good for type 2 diabetes. Right this way for type 2 diabetes training. I have type 2 diabetes. I have it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got it. But here's what I was surprised to find out. That it's delicious.
Yeah.
And it comes from New York and it uses Brooklyn water. And I got it at a specialty store, like maybe Nelson's, something like Nelson's. Maybe it's Gelson's.
Ah.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that was going to be part of my new life.
That's your... That is just not helpful.
You know, I know I've complained about my endocrinologist, right? Before to you.
Fang. Dr. Fang.
And you know what the first problem is that, I went to her, you know what her field of specialty is?
Buzzkill.
No, she's a gynecologist.
What?
I can't get a laugh from that. It's not funny. I understand.
That's the rub.
Yeah, but it has a certain zest to it.
Yeah.
Like what kind of idiot would go to a gynecologist to get would confuse, besides.
Well, you called her your endocrinologist to start. So right away.
Right. But that's a bad endocrinologist.
Yeah,
you know, your endocrinologist is bad when she's a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Chiropractor. That voice doesn't help. Hey, why don't you back up the show? Okay. Can you back up the show for me?
Yeah. Like, what are you thinking? Like 2018?
No, but did you hear that boop, 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 boop sound?
No.
Boop, boop. Something's backing up over there.
Oh.
Like a boop, boop. I saw our favorite truck, and we were lying about our truck. It's colorfully decorated with ice creams.
You were lying about it. I knew the truck goddamn well.
I couldn't believe it. The guy had soft serve. At least he said it was the first day he had it. I tried it for the first time. He goes, "Would you like to try soft serve?" I say, "Yeah." Is that one of your specialties? No. I left the truck. What did he do? The refrigerator in the truck broke.
All right.
No?
No, had you had your shit together, there was a joke there, but
what do you say no like you're shutting it down early? Okay, that's it. You had a couple of nice ones at the beginning. Now get your head into the game. I'm drinking coffee too. No, as you know, no milk, no sugar.
Good.
And I now have seen why Rob Beans is a tough world for Rob Beans.
Why is that?
I don't mean it's a tough world because the regular grocery stores are carrying a lot of Gelson's, a lot of them, even Vons or Pavilions and those types of stores. They carry good coffee. But what's the rub, Andy?
The rub is that they aren't always so freshly roasted.
Thank you. It's very similar to enjoying TV, but not the commercials.
Right.
So I'm just telling our listeners, I like to refer to our listeners, if you go into these stores and you see a great brand, you have to check the date. It could be 9 months ago.
That actually did happen with one of my favorite brands not long ago. And then I went to a different part of the store where they had that, and there was a fresh one there.
Oh, you look for the roast date?
I do. Yeah, sure.
But I thought you have Pete's. They don't have roast date.
I don't have Pete's. No. Ugh, with the Pete's. Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. What are you currently slamming over there?
I'm an intelligentsia man in general.
Oh.
But I order it direct from Intelligentsia.
Oh, Lordy. Someone should stop this voice. Oh, Lordy. I like comedy. Is this racist at all?
Yeah, it's getting more and more as you go.
Lordy,
as the shame
Miss
sets in, and then you're sort of imp who trying to backlash against the shame.
It's the morning of the day I decided to end my career. Hello there.
He went into this racist self-sabotage spiral that couldn't be stopped.
Oh, hello there, Josh.
Please stop. Please stop.
Oh, but if my name was Disney and it was 1942 and I came to you with Song of the South and I was a racist and I lived in a racist country and there didn't seem to be anybody pushing back, that would have been a great movie.
Zippity Judah.
Zippity Judah. Okay, before we start with the letters, and here's the way I predict the letters will start.
Yeah.
Pickles says...
Probably.
I watched the rest of, which I think you had watched. I watched the movie that, I love that guy. Even when he's putting on the mustard, the Orson Welles movie, but that guy always, I enjoy him, the host, who is Scottish, I believe, but was putting it on for this, it was called The Kid Stays in the Picture, and it was about, you've seen the movie, right?
The Kid Stays in the Picture is Robert Evans.
I know.
Right.
I'm trying to play I'm working on my dumb guy character.
All right. It's called The Other Side of Dumb Guy, isn't it? Or something
Yeah, it's called The Other Side of the, is it called The Other Side of the, and here's what I've learned from it. I don't remember everything. Did we talk about it on the show?
We talked, when I was going through my Orson Welles thing a couple of years back. I think it was part of it.
Here's what I've learned about Orson Welles, and then see if you agree with me or not.
Sure.
He's kind of a horse's ass, is what I think.
Yeah.
And I can see the bullshit before he even says it. I've met people like him. Well, sir, let me tell you something. Cinema. Well, what if you don't get it from the actors? Well, then it wasn't meant to be gotten. Then it's a movie about how actors don't get it.
All right.
He was slinging the shit every 5 seconds. He didn't have a movie. Are you doing a making of a movie? Making of a movie of a movie of a movie. And what do you call it? The pretentiousness.
There is, I think he is the mold for blowhardydom.
Yes, yes, he's me. He is me.
All blowhardies aspire to Orson Welles' level
yes,
of blowhardydom.
It's interesting, Josh, that you would bring up Ibsen.
Yes. Well, and it's, I love it. I eat it up. I didn't, The Other Side of the Wind, is that what it's called? Whatever.
Yeah, you said it was a hard watch. I wanted to watch it.
It's a hard watch, but it was, my problem was I watched the documentary about it first, which contains so much of the movie.
Oh, well, that's what I watched.
Okay,
right?
because the actual movie is on Netflix.
Oh, well. No. It's a documentary hosted by that guy who's a good actor. He's like a British guy. What is that guy's name?
I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, but he's putting it on a little bit. Yeah. I love it.
But it's the doc is good. But Orson Welles is like this incredible, unique figure who would just manage to maintain his gravitas through just the force of sheer presence,
I hate that scene where he goes, this is to me, I hate this kind of thing. He goes, I'd like to make something before I die that I could say I didn't hate. Or at least I could say that I liked. He goes, that I liked. Or at least I could say I didn't hate. Isn't he from Topeka? That guy's not from England. Where's he from?
He's from Wisconsin originally, I think.
How does he do that? How do you come from Wisconsin?
Well, but he started, his whole thing, he basically ran away and, joined the theater pretending to be in his 20s because he had this fucking voice at 16. So I've seen him, saying I started out pretending to be, much older than I was. And, and they went, well, how do you do that? You smoke cigars and lie a lot. It's like,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I could relate to that as a 16-year-old comic, who ordered, single malt scotch in bars so that people wouldn't go, why is a 16-year-old ordering Glenlivet,
Well, I was watching this other documentary about Gorky, without Gorky, and it's it's really good.
Yeah.
You know Gorky at all?
No.
Oh, okay, it's Ashiel Gorky or something like that. But he would just completely lie, and he just would lie. He grew up here. It was very much like Dylan, but for the fine art world. He said he was related to the famous author, the Russian author Gorky, Max Gorky, and everything he did was like that. He just completely made everything, and it worked in many ways.
All right. I hate that about Dylan, by the way.
Yeah. And first of all, let me tell you this right now. Dylan is my hero. You can't say there's nothing about Dylan I don't love, and I hate that part of him.
Okay, good.
That part of him is like my Groucho, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Remember you said nice going Groucho when I did the interview in England? What's the difference between that? Just making up stupid things.
Yes, it is just slapping on an affectation.
Yes, well, I was with Verlaine and Rambo. I worked with Verlaine. I liked Verlaine, didn't like Rambo.
I grew up in Gallup, New Mexico, but somehow I went back to the University of Minnesota.
That's right. And I worked on a steam truck.
Born in Duluth, went to New Mexico, went back to Minnesota.
I also just had him making up words. Yeah, I wrote a steam trunker for $5. I was on a Philly ride.
It's so fucking juvenile, and then
so boring. It's boring. It's not Woody Guthrie. It's him wanting to be Woody Guthrie. That's right. I went down. I traveled around Oxford town, coming up. What are you writing that song for with the Oxford town? Now, I don't even think those songs are necessarily the greatest Providences, because I think he lied with all those songs. Hurricane Carter, I don't really know if he did it, but let's go with it. Let's get that guy out of jail. Oh, and he has the whole song. And then he got up at 10 o'clock. And then and they said, meet him over at the victim's house.
Here comes the story of his next lunch.
And at one time, he really was competing to be one of the top boxers in his division. Out of tune violin. Right. Come on, Scarlett, turn it down at the amp.
I'm so happy I've worn you down to the point where we can actually talk about Dylan.
Well, no, because the thing is, I know, I guess it's a growth, but he's so, then you've got, like Mr. Tambourine Man, the greatest lyrics of take me disappearing through the smoke rings of my mind. Now the foggy so all that stuff is great.
Absolutely. No, as long as you can believe someone is great and other things.
Yes, I don't like. Yes. Well, I find that one particularly frustrating because I want to find out what the fuck happened. I don't want to find out. Well, yeah, and then I met a man named Sal.
Right.
I lived in his shoe for 4
Well, what happened was he was a fucking Jewish kid on the Iron Range with nothing that interesting,
Excellent job, I say. Excellent job. If I grew up in Minnesota, do you think I would have been Bob Dylan? Hey, guys, I have my new song. No, he was like, I'm a traveling man. I'm a traveling man. I went to see Blonde Lemon Jefferson when I was... Who? Who'd you see? Willie Dixon.
That's blind, Bob, not blonde.
Blonde.
That was Minnesota.
I can't do the voice. I sold myself to the... Give me the voice. I sold myself to the...
I went down to the crossroads. I leased my soul to the devil with an option to own.
Why would you make everything up? Some things are true. You already have an amazing life. You're the greatest songwriter of all time, probably. Why do you have to make up that you were an elf and you lived like a leprechaun for 4 years? I was riding the rails. That doesn't even sound that romantic. What do you mean riding the rails?
I'm a hooboo.
I said, can I have some of your baked beans? I said to Shorty.
I can find a pie on a windowsill at 100 yards.
Oh, God, this is delightful to me. Because you know what it is?
I watched a weird juxtaposition of docs last night. I watched a P-Funk doc followed by a Beach Boys doc.
Both of those I'm in for. Is it about George Clinton, the whole group?
Yeah, mostly the screwed over members, which is pretty much.
I didn't know. Yeah. I did not know that. Who needs the money?
What's really funny?
We don't have the money.
The funny irony about George Clinton is he screwed everybody out of their publishing, and then fucked himself out of his own publishing by selling it to his Coke dealer for Coke.
Oh, who has the contract? Wah, wah, wah. We've got the contract. Now, you have to admit.
And the Beach Boys one was like the self-produced doc that they did in the mid-'80s or something. And
that's got to be so terrible, right?
With Brian Wilson's in bed for all of his interviews.
Hi, I'm Mike Love. Welcome to the Beach Boys.
Yeah, a little bit.
And who made that?
I don't know it was. It was literally an in-house production. So. Was
it Eugene Landy time?
He was in bed, so I'm probably.
Well, didn't you love that?
I love
proudly
in bed, shirtless in bed, not just like sitting on a bed, like in bed.
Oh, so like John and Yoko, and he's doing a John and Yoko in Toronto thing.
Kind of, except there's not people around.
I love that Saturday Night Live sketch, though. That's one of my favorite bits.
I don't know that one.
It's when Dan Aykroyd and Belushi come to his house and get him out of bed.
Oh, I don't remember that, weirdly enough.
You're going surfing now. And then Dan Aykroyd goes, everybody's doing it. Come to the safari and see. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's dressed from Dragnet. He's dressed as the character in Dragnet.
Yeah.
I tell a great story.
Joe Friday, a.k.a. Jack Webb, for this.
I tell a great story. That's all I can think of. I don't even know what you're talking about now. It's just I bring it back to life. That's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing. Andy, tell us another story where you mix up the names of the people. Do your Dylan again. Hi, I'm Dylan. That's not Dylan.
No, that's your Putin.
Putin.
Before we start, Gruber says hello.
Oh, Gruber. Did you tell Gruber that I first of all, I owe him a call from the 30s.
Right.
Unbelievable. I can't get that amazing. I love that short film so much.
The little birthday thing he did?
Yes. Yeah. He also made me a video that I didn't watch because I couldn't get the, Vimeo, was yours password protected on Vimeo? What is he worried about? Can you imagine someone stealing your birthday thing on Vimeo from him?
Here's the weird little rub in the Andy Kindler Gruber overlap here today, though. So he said he was talking to Andy Paley about you. And they were both wondering if you had done a Kindle joke. And I was like, I've heard him do a Kindle joke once in my life, and it was this show.
Oh, the Kindle. I could have had a Kindle.
Whatever.
I could have been the Kindle.
They had fancied up a whole much more complicated, convoluted way of using Kindle. The way Gruber jokes is prone to do.
and so I figured, and then. That's great.
But it was weird that this very show you made a Kindle joke. I also watched that Action Park doc, by the way. Trying to get us back on doc track.
I don't remember what that was.
That's on it's on HBO Max, and it's about this ridiculously dangerous amusement park in New Jersey that exists.
Is it a joke or is it a dark comedy?
No, it's a doc.
Oh, it's a real place.
Yeah, it's called Class Action Park is the name of the doc.
Where was it located?
In Jersey, I can't remember the town.
And so it's so small, I never heard of it.
Yeah, and after your peak amusement time, I would say it was. Because it was more late '70s through the '80s.
Oh wow! And so what they have? They have a ride that said the ride where the car may fall and kill us.
It was mostly a water park, but it was like all these dangerous fucking rides that that literally people died and and injuries were incredibly commonplace. And it was like some idiot drew a ride on a napkin and they'd try to build it, and then they'd use human fodder to test it.
That sounds like a great doc.
It's kind of fun. I mean, it gets old in the sense that it's just like an hour of it was really fucked up, and then about a half hour of it, and then then it all started catching up with us.
Yeah.
But so it's one of those. It's a magazine article docs,
right?
But it's not so long that it wears out its welcome.
I like that kind of a thing. This one was the a thing where we went to a faulty elevator. That was part of the ride. Just went to a faulty elevator. And it could work, it could not work. People loved it. Mr. Mainway would have hosted that doc.
Right. It was very Mainway.
I'm glad to see you going out and watching things. No, I don't know what I'm saying. But I'm starting to watch more things or something, is what I'm saying. What am I saying?
I don't know.
I have Apple TV for a year, too.
You don't really need to be proud of watching things.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why I am proud of it. Because there's nothing to be proud of. So I think you should pick. If you've got nothing to be proud of, you should go, oh, I meant to tell you, I'm pretty excited. I listened to a couple of audiobooks.
Right. So you have Apple TV, you said? Yeah.
Yeah, for a year. 1 year.
What did you buy that got you that?
I bought a new Mac Air. Remember my Mac Air?
Oh, right.
And so I'm ready to go. What do you got, baby? Steve Carell. What's that one where they look bad?
That one's not good. The morning show is not so good from what I saw. I only saw
and not good bad either.
No, not like hate watch good bad. Just kind of like a step shy of Sorkin, kind of.
Sorkin, and let's say this: he's a nice man. I have no idea what he's like. Bad, it's just bad movies.
It's not It's not a Sorkin show, but it wants to be.
Right. Hey, before you say anything, let's walk a little bit so I can have some animation.
Yeah. And, there's Ted Lasso, which you may or may not like.
That I think I will like. And that's, I remember because when I looked at it, I was like, well, that one I know about.
There's like a game one. There's like a software game set sitcom that's a little too much like the HBO one, Silicon Valley.
Oh. And so, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like that hey, let's get the Apple TV going. Well, what are we going to do? Well, get them something. We'll have something exciting every 3 weeks. Is it exploding, the Apple TV?
I don't think it is, but it's a loss leader for a huge company, I think.
Yeah, because I thought I had to get one of the Apple TV remotes, but luckily it comes through my Roku.
Yes.
I'm starting to understand how technology works, and it's a very exciting thing.
Yeah, even Gruber referenced something that he saw that was definitely on one of the app-based things. I was like, whoa.
I was watching have you seen this new show on Shudder? Anybody? It is exciting, the various formats and all of that kind of thing. Like, I'll tell you, I mean, it's not funny. I know there's a horrible intro, but I am switching to just watching like stuff off the Roku in other words, like I watch no news. We watch no news except we'll watch Brian once a day or somebody, and maybe not even that. I'm very proud of myself in a way, unless the world ends.
And you literally go, should we watch Brian?
That's exactly what I do.
Ugh.
So Zen. What's wrong with that voice?
No.
So Zen.
Yeah.
So Zen. Should we watch Brian?
Do you want me to pause it? Brian's on. Should I pause it?
A night in the Kindler life. Honey, what are we having for dinner? Why don't you shut the fuck up? What would you think I cook you dinner? Sweetie, you sound upset. Shut the fuck up. Oh, that's not a good. Maybe I shouldn't be doing these excerpts from my life.
Probably not. Not if I'm going to have to edit them out later or something.
Are you sad I haven't dropped anything off into your mailbox recently?
I am, especially the Valentines, the Peanuts Valentines you were putting in there.
Oh, that made me a little sick. Valentine's was a horrible. Valentine's was not a good holiday when you were like a little kid.
No.
Why don't you make one for your mom? Why don't you just send me to an incest camp?
Right. So I can see her depressed as use it as a fucking coaster. No thanks.
You've nailed it. You know what my mother told me to do? And this was supposed to be a wonderful thing that she told me to do. Stop buying those fucking, she didn't say it this way. Stop buying those stupid fucking frog pins for me. I hate them. Why do you think I want to wear a little frog? Now, the story in the family is, Andy, little boy. Andy, my boy, I love what you're doing, but I got too many frog pins. No, in my mind, it was like a sad story that was dressed up like she was being nice. But why was she telling me that? Why would she tell me no more frog pins?
I think it's fair at a certain point. I don't know how.
Yeah, if you had a regular mother, if you had a regular.
How deep you were into the pond with the frogs.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's like, here's how it would have worked. Sweetie pie, here's this sandwich for school so you don't have to eat garbage in the lunchroom. Sweetie, I love you. Oh, mama, mama. Happy Valentine. Oh, mama. Honey, I hate it. But could you? Oh, of course, mommy. I sound like discount Jonathan Winters.
Kind of.
Oh, and I went to Maud Pickard. Discount Jonathan Winters, or should I say Johnny Carson? Isn't he? No.
Thing.
If you said I will, if I said to you, you have to say you like Johnny Carson, and you have to say it on the basis of his sketches. You couldn't say it.
You could not say it. It would be a stinking lie.
Because it's not like he's making.
It's
not
like saying
Letterman.
you have to like Bob Dylan for his backstory.
Yes, I was a king of Greece, but I was an African. I was an African song for 4 years. I always loved that Warren Zevon when he was on Letterman. He goes, I learned not to talk small talk with Bob Dylan. I said, hey, what you been doing, Bob? He goes, I've been traveling. I hope I don't meet Bob Dylan now because he's my hero. He can't die either. That's the thing.
Oh, I think he can, Andy.
I don't think he can. He's too much for me. Or if anything happened to John Lennon, that'd be the end for me.
Exactly.
Pickle says.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show. All right. Now Pickle says.
You are a genius. You know what? I have to tell you something. Before you read the letter, I've just heard this for the first time right now, and you're a fucking genius.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. How's my acting?
Not so good.
Okay.
But you did like it when you heard it.
I loved it. I love everything you've done. To me, you are Sha-na-na.
Thank you.
That maybe didn't explain it the right way. But
Not so
you
much.
get it.
Not so much. Pickles says I was just watching an episode of Seinfeld, and I realized that Millie Helper was on the Del Boca Vista episodes. It was really like seeing an old friend, like when I see Buddy on an old Match Game episode.
Yeah, those are fun. The other week we were watching, and I saw one episode, and I wish I could remember the details. It was horrible. It's like 96 or 97. It was literally as if it was someone who was making a joke about how their stupid stories all twist together.
That's kind of that's what I felt like the last 3 or 4 seasons were like to me.
Yeah. I remember having that feeling when it was happening. I just stopped watching. But when you look back at it, where's Elaine? Oh, she's at her, the crazy guy's house, and she sold him a shoe.
She has her boba addiction now. Whatever.
Yeah. It made me sad in a way, but then it was like, why do you have to have it? You probably overvalue things. You should be more like Josh. Just like, yeah, that's good.
In that way, probably you should.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways being like me won't help you one lick.
You mean with the smaller penis?
Well, mine works. So you choose. Pick your poison.
Touche. Touche. And if you get a chance, could you touche my limp penis?
I will never touche that.
What was that group? Was that your favorite group? Limp Penis? All right, stop it. Don't do the voice. No, you can. Would you have anything new with the voice?
No. I'll just play the jingle. His penis doesn't work.
You have so many tools now to destroy me.
I do.
You're weaponized over there.
A little bit. Tom the Tom Tom says, honored to be the first Thought Spiral listener against whom Andy Kindler has a fake grudge. I'm sure this club will grow exponentially. Thank you, J. Elvis Weinstein. Andy will forget all about it by Test Show 218.
What the hell is he talking?
Exactly.
Who was this?
This is Tom the Tom Tom.
Oh, we had a run. I don't remember. What did I do?
I don't even remember what you were mad about.
I don't think I was that mad at him, but I do have a faint memory of going, hey, Tom the Tom Tom. Yeah, you want to shove your Tom Tom up your Tom Tom. No, I don't even think it happened. People love me and I'm so gracious.
Yes, that's why they keep coming to you for cameos.
Boy, you almost like you just ran out of gas.
I keep forgetting what that fucking thing is called.
That's hilarious.
I keep wanting to call it barrel bottom.
You have almost a devilish side to you now. It's a little devil.
That's how I stay awake.
No, Andy, do you think I'd ever really put you down just because you did cameos? You fucking sellout. Okay, I have to stop cursing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was never an accusation about you selling out.
Don't ever start something with to be fair. We're going to be here 4 hours.
Tweet Bahara says, Andy, cauliflower
crust. Am I supposed to have a song for that?
Only when he says something nice.
The tweet. The tweet is on Bahara.
Yeah. Andy, cauliflower crust pizza is good. You should try it. And it's kosher, depending on how the cauliflower is killed.
I will try, and I can see anything being good, but because it's made out of cauliflower, it can be bad. We've had many bad cauliflower pizza. I've tried many things because I'm my wife's gluten free. However, this line called, I think it's called Jovial. They're unbelievable. It's unbelievable. She made something with capellini. It's like the best pasta I've ever had.
Right, but don't confuse gluten free with low carb.
Oh no! I'm not on she's not on a low carb.
No, that's what I'm saying. For your purposes.
Why, okay, and then you'll tell me how to return a rental car.
All right. Okay.
No. What are you saying? What are you concerned I might mess up?
I'm not actually concerned about anything.
Oh, you're saying like I'll pile on the calories thinking I'm helping. No, I'm only eating the gluten free because she's allergic to gluten.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying that gluten free doesn't take the carbs out of something. They're different.
Oh, are they different? They're always different kind of carbs, right?
Yeah, I mean gluten is a byproduct that is often in carbohydrate stuff.
Right.
But taking the gluten out doesn't reduce the carbohydrates. And
look, cuckoo, why don't you shove that bialy up your catch Ken? Yes.
But I actually, if you care, I actually started when I was in my heavy carb shunning time. I did make cauliflower pizza and tweaked the recipe enough, so I had a method that's pretty good. I
believe you, and I'm not anti what you're saying. I went out and bought your keto ice cream. I bought every thing of the keto, and it's I think it's better. I'm lying to myself.
Yeah, well,
no, but it tastes okay.
You didn't hear me jump up your ass about it because that would be
two net carbs.
Yeah,
your move.
That's it. No, that's what I told you.
And you know what I have with it? I have chocolate syrup, makes it good, and whipped cream. Oh my god, there's a way to make it tasty.
See, I didn't believe you were that stupid.
Oh, Josh, I don't like this new turn where you directly go into my lack of intelligence, where you go directly at it.
Yeah, okay.
If I was smart enough to come up with a comeback, I would.
Jason Parton says, or rather, Jason, I'm not your hotspot Parton, says, John Lurie had a fishing show once upon a time that was a fun little romp. He just had a painting show not too long ago. That was also a pleasure to watch. This isn't homework, but I thought I'd mention it to the spiralers as I think it's right up the collective alley.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned it because my friend Chris Carey, who's one of my oldest friends, she loves John Lurie and she loves that show. And she's been telling me to watch the painting show. And I know him from Twitter. You know him from Twitter too, right?
I don't think I am on a John Lurie thread.
Oh, he's really funny.
No, I like him a lot, and I liked Fishing with John. I haven't watched the painting.
I never saw that show. I would think, because I was like, how could you possibly? But is it him telling stories? I know he's an entertaining person.
I think it was on IFC. I just look it up.
And people have said this new show is great.
Good.
And I will watch it at one point. It's fantastic.
Duckman says, would you rather have to eat the same thing for breakfast every day for the rest of your life or tell the same joke every day for the rest of your life?
I would tell the same joke because I think it's less painful than eating the same thing.
Well, and it would require less adjustment.
Because you're saying I already did that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that the joke? So the joke there is I have a limited amount of material that I just circulate, and then we're back at the beginning, and that's where you're going with it, right?
It was sort of, yeah, I mean, it was more of a normally sort of a thing.
Good to know. Good to know that you're harboring such terrible grudges. Good to know.
I'm not harboring them.
Where'd you keep them? You keep them down in the marina?
I say them out loud as they occur to me.
I keep my grudges in the marina.
There's no storage necessary here.
Why can't I get a laugh out of I keep my grudges at the marina?
I think it's okay.
All right.
I mean, part of the answer to why can't I get a laugh is because you're telling it to me.
Yeah, I know, and I'm also insisting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. What do you think of that? What do you think of
that? Tweet Bahara is back.
Okay.
I really enjoy having a fine dinner at Frank and Musso's, after which I eat some Jerry and Ben's ice cream for dessert while watching a Hardy and Laurel movie. Good times.
You know, I don't want to be a nitpicker, but I think he is switched around the order of some of those.
Yes,
things
why
he's referring to.
that would be a reference to last week's show where he accidentally said Frankenmusos.
I do actually. I know that you're not going to believe this, but as you said it, I remembered it.
Yeah, but not the first time. Not when it counted.
Oh my God! I mean, you really need to go and see. I mean, maybe you might end up killing me if you don't deal with this.
Maybe it's just I'm done with the praising you for things that don't deserve praise.
I mean, I never remember Mutt going after Jeff like this, or the other way around. I don't know who's the tall one.
It was Jeff and Mutt, if you ask Street Bahara.
Well, Tweet, everybody gets the business on the show. If you come to our show and you say, do you guys like the Brothers Marks? We're going to say something.
Right. Barry Golub is here because to fill as my personal early comedy historian, Barry Golub. Last week I said I used to do a joke in my act about they say you learn something every day, but have you ever spent a day where you actually lost knowledge? That joke.
Right.
And he follows it up with what I used to follow it up with. I spent a week in Montana, big sky country, big sky, little tiny fucking airport. I think that big sky thing is a ruse so that you keep looking up and don't look around to see what a shithole the place is.
I like that. And it's also true.
That was well, I had a bad experience in Montana, so I was especially hostile. I got shafted for a week of featuring.
Oh, you never even went on the trip?
No, I went there, did the week, and then they didn't pay me because
that's the worst kind.
Because they ran out of money.
And then they said, "But don't worry, when you get back, did they ever?"
Well,
make it
and I
up?
literally did. I stayed in town for an extra 2 days
to get the money.
Yeah, at the suggestion of my lawyer father. And I can't remember. I can't remember if I left with partial or just left. But
this is unbelievable. Weren't you afraid that your dad could have gotten you killed?
He could have.
So, like, you were around going, "Oh, so why haven't you left the condo?" The condo, maybe.
No, I was at a hotel, and it was on their tab.
And you didn't get a little visit from a guy named Schmitty?
I did not. These guys were much bigger bozos than that.
Who books that?
Part of their problem was that they were paying like ridiculously high money.
I've heard this story more than once about people. They paid Sandra Bernhard $20,000 and nobody came in. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I actually knew the guy who booked it, who felt terrible because it wasn't his club, but he was just booking it.
Right,
and and I remember telling him he had hired like Jimmy Walker or something for this insane fee. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
And you can't tell friends that your career is going great when they go, why are you still there, Josh? I'm there because I'm going to take a little visit downtown today and get my fucking money. You're staying in the town that you just worked? Yeah, don't worry about it. Was your father's advice, why did he want you to stay there?
Because he knew once I left, there was no hope of getting the money.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Once you left the town. And was the guy abusive?
No, he was embarrassed.
Oh.
He was embarrassed and at least outwardly felt bad. It wasn't like, fuck you for your money. It was like, I'm really sorry. I can't pay
so you were waiting around him trying to put it together.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly.
And what eventually happened?
Like I said, I don't even fucking remember. I was I think I was 18 years old at the time, and it was like, I know I stayed an extra couple days, and I maybe got part of it, or I maybe just left.
I love the idea, though. See, I would be so afraid as a Jew to be involved in any kind of hijinks like that, because it's like fits right into the stereotype. Jew stays over in town.
No, but it was to get money he was contractually owed.
No, I know. I don't know. Can't you?
It wasn't me being money grubbing. It really wasn't.
Yeah, but maybe you never felt that.
Do you take Trump's side on his contractor disputes?
Well, you want a Jewish accountant.
That's right.
No. But I just was saying, like, I'm always afraid to feed into the stereotype of being Jewish, so that would make me scared. That's why, you'll never see me tip poorly. Hopefully. I'm just saying it's a cross to bear. Not a cross, but it's a something to bear that Jews have to worry about. You don't know. Oh, I never have asked you if you've ever thought about, worried that you would be perceived as being cheap.
No, I've never had the sort of.
Oh, well, I do.
If I do this, they'll hate Jews, and if I don't, they won't.
Well, if you grew up in a house where your mother was embarrassed to be Jewish, you would have felt it. Your family was like.
It, but you asked me if I had it, and I don't.
There's no reason for you to get defensive. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. No, there's no reason. No, you're right, exactly right. Whatever we were talking about.
But it's.
I just don't want anybody to call me a dirty Jew, and I don't. And I sometimes feel unattractive like a Jew.
Yeah.
Like Jews are unattractive. You never felt that?
Have I felt that Jews are unattractive? Sure.
No, not that you're thinking it. You keep putting you literally put words in my mouth. I mean, that you were worried that you weren't, like I always felt when I was younger, I thought I had a really big nose because I was Jewish.
Yeah. No.
And now I found out I was just ugly.
Yeah. No, I was way more concerned about being a fat kid than anything that might tie
true.
me to a race.
Well, not only that, but you also came from a neighborhood where everybody else was Jewish. My mother grew up in a neighborhood where nobody was Jewish.
That's not true, but I can't.
Oh.
But I in a suburb where a lot of people were Jewish, but my particular neighborhood wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, then explain to me that, because I thought I see you with tons of Jews, but maybe when there's tons of Jews in a mini Minnesota suburb, there's still not tons of them.
Yeah, I mean, a super Jewish part of Minnesota is like a block in New York.
Right. Okay. So my image of that everybody's walking around with the Coen Brother movies in their pocket, I thought it was you know why I thought that? Because I don't know anybody who went to. No,
I mean I grew up in what was probably the most Jewish suburb in Minnesota at the time, and it was like maybe a quarter Jewish.
Right, but I know very few people in my life, except maybe comedians like Ari Shaffir. I don't even like Ari Shaffir. I know Ari Shaffir went to shul. I don't know a lot of people went to, what's it called that you went to twice a week?
Well, it was either Hebrew school in the generic or Talmud Torah in the way, and the one that we're at.
And I went to Reformed Judaism Sunday school, which was just awful and boring, but they weren't trying to teach us anything.
Right.
So, I think I was probably picking up on my mother's.
No, but I think I think part of the need or perceived need for that kind of immersion was the fact that these were Jews in Minnesota.
Yes,
you know
that's
what I mean? If you didn't generate your own Jewish culture, the culture around you wasn't going to.
Right, and I had.
Whereas in New York, it's really part of the flavor of the place in New York.
That you're absolutely right. Although, not like if I grew up in Manhattan or if I grew up as a. Have you seen? Susan was saying that show Unorthodox Jew is very good. She watched the first episode.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have.
It's like a documentary.
I just became aware of it.
Okay. Well, check it out.
I will.
I mean, I have no experience of growing up enjoying Jewish traditions, and I think that some people did, and I do think the quality of my Jewish experiences were.
Well, if it wasn't for my Jewish experiences, for example, I wouldn't be hearing from Barry Golub right now.
Oh, you read me the right.
No, but I mean that's literally the good that came out of it. It was the friends I met. Like I didn't go to the same school as Barry. I met him through Jewish camp and Talmud Torah.
For some reason, because I think we've established that you had better parents than I did. I revel in the parts where they tortured you, because my parents did that all the time. Oh, Andy, you want to play the violin, don't you? What? You said that last Thursday, and now it's going to be 20 years of it.
Yeah.
But
it actually, I mean, what it ultimately did was allow me to really very cleanly stand up to my parents and go, this is fucking bullshit now. Once it got to that point.
I can't believe, so that's another thing. I could never stand up to my parents. That was not allowed in my house.
Yeah.
In any real way.
Yeah.
You always had to feel like you were subordinate to the Kindler.
We didn't have that. And I watched my brother like really not do well with my mother during his teen years in terms of the way he presented his cases. So, I learned a lot off of that. But my parents like didn't want the power. You know,
that's good.
They
Yeah,
really
that's a good
did.
thing.
They were never on a power trip about parenting because they didn't fucking want it. They were happy to pretend we were adults, you know, and that we were doing great. You know?
Yeah,
whether it was the case or not, you know, we had fooled them into the thinking that all of our instincts were that of adults because we were able to speak like adults.
Well, it's just the fact that you're all in on the joke is you would have thought that would have been at my house because there were funny people there, but everybody was pretty funny in my family, but nobody was laughing.
Yeah, right. No, it doesn't sound like that much fun. I gotta say, I agree. It sounds like the extremes were very extreme.
But before I went into therapy, I didn't know, for example, that the fact that I would remember like many aspects of having my eyelid operated on, that the reason why I remember it, and I was like 2 or 3, is because my mother was nice to me.
Yeah.
So that stuck out.
Interesting.
Are you joking now?
No. I mean,
so when she came to the hospital, I remember she gave me Give a Show projector. And I remember counting backwards from 100. And I remember feeling really safe and special. It was the exception.
Right.
That's sad to me.
It is sad. I mean, you're right that it's sad.
Yeah. Please hold me.
Tim Jackson says, au contraire, J. Elvis Weinstein. Henry's Tacos lost its original location at the corner of Moore Park and Tahunga and moved 1 block south on Tahunga.
I love these kind of letters.
It's my favorite gringo taco. And Billy Bob Thornton's. # gringo gastro blowhardy strikes again.
I think that since Susan I have tasted authentic, like El Centro kind of Mexican food. She told me Henry Tacos sucked.
Yeah, they weren't good, is my recollection too.
Now, he's trying to sell it as a gringo taco.
Yeah.
But I think it's the memory that works more than the reality of it.
Yeah.
I don't like Tito's tacos that much. Do you?
I was just about to bring up Tito's tacos and the grand disappointment that they are.
Because my friend Bill loved it. He said, this is the greatest Mexican food you'll ever have. And he didn't grow up in El Centro.
Absolutely awful.
Can we get sued for this, or should we call it Tino's?
I don't know, but I remember Madison and I stayed in line for like a big long line, and we brought it back to Sony, to the show we were working on, for the whole room.
Oh, that's so disappointing. And we were
just like, oh man, this is fucking.
Oh, that's so disappointing because even the one that people talk about that has is not a great restaurant. The one, there's 2 of them, and they're famous for their blue corn something or others. Their tamales, maybe.
Yeah, don't know it.
Yeah, if I said the name, you'd know.
And if I knew it, I probably would agree with you. They're disappointing.
Yeah.
Mama Dick III says, so an adult film company just asked me for my Twitter handle so they can promote Strap-On MILFs Volume 3. I'm
going to have to push back.
Not sure if I should let them have the account and stop writing in, so I'll leave it up to you guys. You both get a vote, but in case of a tie, Josh wins. And then it shows a picture of Seth Dick III blocking her.
Mama Dick, I'm surprised that Seth has not spoke to his fictional mother more about this. This is how people get ripped off. You get ripped off. Someone says they're in the area and they have extra toner, and then the next thing you know, your bank accounts are drained.
Truer words have never been spoken. Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, can't wait to see Andy host the Alt Show at JFL this year. I'll miss the big speech, but the fact that the prime showcase for alternative comedy is going to be hosted by an elderly Jew from Queens tells us a lot about the state of the industry.
I wish you could see my face. It's like I'm going along and I'm smiling like, whoa, everybody loves me.
And you hear elderly Jew.
Yes, it will be. When is this coming out? Monday. So it's on the 27th. We're taping it.
Oh yeah.
Dynasty Typewriter.
Okay.
What do you think of that name? And you can be honest with me. The name Dynasty Typewriter. We've given it a long time now. What would you say? I'll be happy to tell you my opinion of it.
I'd say it's a little too precious.
Thank you. By half.
By half, yes. Okay, by half.
Come on down to the Triangle Shirt Factory show.
And the fact that they've never invited me to do a show there.
That guy is pretentious a little bit.
He didn't like me when he was at the Improv either, so.
You never can tell if he does or not. That's, I think, one of his shticks.
Yeah.
I got the call. They sent me, do I want spots? And I was like, I am not sending in for spots. Are you
from
kidding
the Improv?
me? Yes. Or anywhere.
Yeah, I got that.
I mean, these variants are killing me.
They're starting to. I got the email again.
Yeah, but we can't, Josh, because the Delta variants, we just can't.
Yes.
I have no memory. I have no missing of that particular aspect of the business.
Doing your trade, you mean?
No. Well, I would argue that going down to the Improv.
Okay. Just that part. I thought you meant.
Yeah.
I thought you just meant being on stage.
No. I think you're right. I do have there is a part of me that's like, I like gentleman retirement, gentleman retire guy. I want to be retired. You know how people, they say you never lose your ambition? I really have lost it.
I understand.
Okay.
I can't see holding on to my ambition for another 15 years.
But I don't think, you see, you when you look at things, you tend to look at things, and you tend to look at things very logically, and you go, and you see it going. I think in 10 years from now, you might have made 8 documentary films.
Maybe.
And that's only if you, how's your back? Is it better?
It hurts, but it's better.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for asking.
I'm so worried about your back. I know I can't bring it up because there's nothing to do about it, but one of these days I'm going to get it fixed.
I just got my MRI approved, so I'm getting an MRI, and then I have an appointment with the surgeon, but we'll see how it goes.
And you're not going to go somewhere else because he really is good.
Well, I may have to because of, we'll see what the insurance says about the procedure.
I just don't want to wake up, halfway through an operation and someone's going through my front.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up during operation. That's one of my fears. You wake up and you can't do anything about it. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not one of mine. I actually, when I actually deal with surgeries, I kind of just go, you're not going to be there for it. That's just how I keep myself calm. Just like, yeah, it'll hurt. Yeah. It'll hurt afterwards, but you're not going to be there for it.
I'm kind of good at letting go with those kind of things. Like, but did I ever tell you that when I got my appendix out, that when I came to, that they really literally had to restrain me because I thought I was being in a Nazi camp?
Yeah, no.
And they said it happens a lot. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not the Nazi part.
I got the impression I said some pretty funny shit. Honestly, from my surgeon.
I bet you did. I
really did get that impression.
He's not just saying that to you, too. You did.
No, because he was talking to my wife. He said, this is a special guy. And he was like definitely a comedy kind of doctor. So I get the impression I said some funny shit.
What was that? Did I leave the country when you were sick or something? I don't remember.
I know you actually did check in when I was in the hospital. You called.
Oh, I do remember that now. I do remember.
You did get true friend points for that.
I'm like a saint of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't visit, but you called, which is nice.
I mean, could you not, next time you tell, can you take out the part about how I visit?
I mean, there's no flowers or any,
No, just to keep the part where you go, yeah, you get points, and then you edit it out.
Come to think of it, I think it was just a sick emoji you sent me, but.
I think I sent you an out of the office reply.
Greg Kelly says, Andy, those healthy alternatives to garbage food are awful and we deserve better. Eat the garbage just like a quarter as often and let metformin do the rest. Isn't that right, James Mason? Well, it's hard to argue.
What's your advice about that?
Well, I think, do your best. Progress, not perfection. That's my advice.
So but the basic argument is, can I eat like a maniac and just take the metformin?
I would say somewhere in the middle. I think Greg Kelly has a nice plan. Stop eating like an idiot. Eat like somebody who enjoys life occasionally.
Are you saying I eat stupidly?
I think you eat like a sugar monkey. I've spoken of this before.
Are there really sugar monkeys?
No, Frank.
Oh, no. It's a monkey who likes sugar.
Yes.
I really am. I don't want to say stupid, but I was actually thinking of a genus, if that's the right word, of monkey.
Like a spider monkey.
Yeah. Did you hear my joke about Laughlin I did yesterday?
No.
Online? Well, a friend of mine who's a wrestler, the heel Ziggler, he wanted jokes from Vegas, and I said, sir, what, you're not laughing, sir. Are you from Laughlin? I also noticed that you're not Laughlin. Now, guess how Laughlin is really spelled?
Yeah, I know.
How come I never knew that before? I would have done more material. I would have had more material for my Vegas joke.
I wrote an episode of a show set in Laughlin once.
I've never been to Laughlin.
And I think the title of the episode was Laughlin It Up.
I thought it wasn't like I was.
And Gruber was in it, and he played a ghost in a trunk of a car.
See, great minds think alike. I really think so because I thought when I looked it up yesterday, I said I must have misspelled it. I must have spelled it like Laughlin.
Yeah.
I guess if you live in Laughlin, you learn that
there's nothing to laugh about.
Yeah.
There's nothing to laugh about if you live there. Stephen Elton Yates says, I'm enjoying my backyard trail cam. I have pics and video of coyotes, foxes, possums, raccoon, deer, turkeys, even an otter. Have either of you had close encounters with large or dangerous wildlife? Minnesota moose, Jelvis?
Well, I have to say, Josh, that while you were saying that, I couldn't even focus on it because I thought it was going to be a fake thing.
Yeah.
But now he's asked a real question.
There's a picture of a coyote here.
I don't worry about it.
Or a fox. I can't really quite tell. It might be a fox.
They have coyotes in this neighborhood.
They do.
They say.
Yeah. Not so many in our part of the neighborhood, but certainly in the hills.
And what do I do? Do I play possum if I see one? What do I do?
Oh, you throw a possum at it.
But will they attack a man like me?
No, they will not.
Because they're even a small.
There are some crazily tame coyotes, but they're more likely to be looking for a cat than you.
Oh my God! So if you were a cat, they are don't rest easy, right?
Exactly.
I don't. Are we predators? We're predators, right?
We are apex predators. Yes.
What does that mean?
It means there's no one above us on the food chain, really.
Nice going. But okay, I forgot my question, which is just as well.
Have I ever had close encounters with large or dangerous wildlife? I've had, near bison. I've hit a deer with my car. That
was scary, right?
I've been to many zoos.
I would take off the zoo credit.
Okay. Just put it under special skills.
Yeah, it's much. Yeah,
QMock says 30 years ago, Mitch was a cool name. It isn't anymore for obvious reasons. Can either of you make a case for Josh or Andy replacing it as a cool name? Well, Josh has had its day. I was born.
Josh was a cool name.
I was born just before a major Josh boom.
I feel like my name is a perennial. Andy.
Yeah.
Now I forgot the question. What is the question?
Can it be a cool name?
Yes.
Mark McDonald wants to know my thoughts on the director Neville in this new Anthony Bourdain doc using a simulated voice.
Are you kidding me?
No. Apparently he had, he sent off 12 hours of Bourdain talking to a lab and had them come up with a simulation of his voice so that he could be reading quotes from emails aloud in the doc.
It sounds like it could be that could be trouble.
Yeah, I think it's fucked up. I think it's, I don't think it's particularly ethical, which is almost besides the point because it's not, because it's docs, not journalism. But as a doc maker, I take the journalism part of it sort of seriously. And I also feel like, it's cheating. Part of being a doc maker is solving those problems,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound right to me.
It's finding a workaround to make if those words are so important, find a way to make them ring with what you got.
Yes. I'm a purist that way. I hated that, and we've talked about it, I hated that Walk Hard movie because of the way they just trashed Johnny Cash's first wife. But I mean, I know you can be too nitpicky about it because it's probably in every biopic they fuck up.
Well, yeah, and I think biopics have an even less of a response.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cody the Sloth wants to know, what's a question you want to be asked? Would you like $1,000 bills or $10,100 bills?
I'm looking for questions like, how do you do it, Andy? You're so fucking genius. How do you do it?
Instead of the why?
Yeah, I've gotten that one before. Why are you performing? What do you mean, why am I? You're not very good. No, I am good. I can't tell from your bank account or your accomplishments.
Good act out.
Thank you. And I ended it, which is the best part of it.
Esai76 says, it really hurt my pride that I wrote regiment instead of regimen in a previous Thought Spiral question, especially when I think of myself as a grammar Republican.
Well, that's, you know what though, that really, you know, I am in the other school like that. I just don't think it matters. You know, that like spelling is like a thing and typos are a thing and you should never feel bad about it.
Julian Valentich says, finished Hacks not long ago after pausing your original analysis of it for a week to see it spoiler free. Really liked it, but genuinely curious for a bit more of your takes on the various stand-up elements / plot points. Thanks for all yous do.
I'll have to take a flyer or take a thing on it because I have not watched the rest of it, that first episode, and I'm going to. So you can address it.
Oh, you just watched one episode?
1 or 2 episodes, yeah.
I thought you watched a few.
No. Maybe I did watch more than 2. I think I did watch more than 2.
Well,
right.
Then I can't really. I mean, I think the thing about it is that, you know, one of the good things about it is that they put it in a sort of rarefied corner of stand-up, which is like a Vegas hotel gig. So that they weren't having to, you know, show you what the club scene was like or what the, you know, when they did go to a comedy club the one time, it wasn't that, it was only partially realistic, I would say. And the thing that happened there, which I don't want to blow because you haven't seen it yet, Andy, there was a big thing that happened at this comedy club that would have made news, and they sort of made it go away the following week.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't.
I can't wait now.
Like that thing that was sort of a fantasy thing happening would have had a ripple effect within the comedy community, and it didn't in the show.
Got it. I can't wait to see this. Have you seen that show? It's already been one season. It's on Showtime, and it's like a transgender person maybe, and Julia Sweeney makes an appearance in it because they criticize her It's Pat character. Is any of this ringing a bell?
No.
Okay, because it looks really good, and there's a second season's coming up on Showtime, and I don't even have the name.
And can you get past the Julia Sweeney trigger factor?
Yes. I'm trying to get over that in my life because I don't want to hold. I do love Julia as a person, so why would I care about it? Because she's my father in this scenario.
Right.
She can't do anything about it. I just acknowledge it and I go, Julia's not my father. But also, I might enjoy it because they make fun of her too.
Yeah.
Because I think that Pat character probably doesn't hold up.
I think it absolutely doesn't.
And
I watched Beyond the Valley of the Dolls the other night.
And that's Ebert.
Ebert wrote it and Russ Meyer directed it.
How'd that hold up?
It kind of holds up great in some ways. I mean, it holds up terribly in terms of the sort of trans hate crime that it portrays towards the end. But it as this weird, it's like fake satire almost, because it's satirizing stuff. It's satirizing a satire version of L.A. in the 60s.
Right.
You know,
I want to see it now.
It's kind of I think it's on. It's on Criterion, which you don't have anymore.
It got slammed but it sounded like it was always good from the beginning.
Well, no, I mean it's terrible, but it's it's good camp, in the sense of, Russ Meyer is just hilarious because of his fetish, as well as the fact that he actually is a good shooter. His stuff looks good. And,
Right.
so, it's sort of, it rides this weird B movie, A movie line, although there's nothing about it that's A movie, except for perhaps the production.
Did Ebert know what he was doing, you think, or was it unintentionally campy?
No, I mean, Ebert knew, Ebert had an appreciation of Russ Meyer.
Right.
And so, Ebert knew he was writing, didn't think he was making art, really.
Right.
Or if it was art, it was a sort of Dada kind of art.
Right. I want to see that now. I'm not saying I'll see it tomorrow, but I will see.
It holds up as camp classic.
Right. Good.
And there's lots of boobies.
Unlike Wild in the Streets, which you were telling me.
Seth III says, Mama Dick III tells me that Aaron Sorkin wrote A Few Good Men with McLean Stevenson in mind as Jessup, but producers convinced him too many people would think his plane spun into the Sea of Japan.
I hope it's a true story.
Jordy says Andy's hair looks terrific. When was his Twitter profile picture taken, and are there any irons in the fire to update it?
That makes me laugh. Just the general. My wife's a photographer. We have a million pictures, and that I don't change pictures is funny to me.
Totally vaccinated Richard Cole says, I like to pretend I'm a tourist when I visit Toronto, even though I'm from there. Do you ever do touristy stuff in LA?
No, but I used to do it in New York.
Did you?
Yeah, because I would be, pizza, all that stuff. Not touristy, but like Carvel and that stuff.
Yeah. I don't go to touristy attractions other than the beach. I don't even if people come to town, I tend to point them to things rather than take them to things.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go to the Santa Monica Pier.
No, or Universal, or,
Universal's the worst. Do not go to Universal because I've been on it 6 times.
Yeah.
But just on the Steven Spielberg thing, it's really, except for the John Lovitz Club, it's not that great.
Hey, here's our final letter. And it comes from you.
That was very Dada.
I think I'm going to take my part out and just leave yours.
No, mine was terrible. When you couldn't hear mine, it was better.
Yoshi says, Andy, one of my OCD behaviors is listening to the same song over and over again in succession, sometimes for days. It's only a small number of songs that work, and I stop eventually, but then I'll repeat the behavior in a few weeks or months. Do you do this at all?
Not to that extent, but I never realized I think it is an OCD thing. And I go through a whole thing where I do get sick of a song. I get so excited about something, and then I do get sick of it because I overplay it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought of it as an OCD thing.
It doesn't sound like you necessarily have it as an OCD thing.
No, but I could see why that. I do think I have a tendency to like when I love music to want to listen to it over and over again.
Yeah.
As opposed to expanding your window, which I do, but.
No, you don't. You do not expand your window, please.
Wow.
You don't. Neither do I. But come on, let's be upfront.
How do you know what I listen to?
I know what you listen to because you tell me.
Yeah. Well played. But no. You don't understand. I have KCRW on here. Morning becomes eclectic.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to a African spring African band drum recital. We're going to. Sunday I'm going to River Dance reunion. Did you and Allison go see River Dance?
No. It's possible she took her mother to see something like it at one point. Let me just check if there's any quick letters we can get out of the chute here. Dear Josh and Andy, says Kevin Harrison, What's a joke that you wrote that you imagined would kill only for it to bomb every single time you tried it?
Well, that's a tough one to think about. I never have had one that bombed every single time I tried it. It was because it's like
because you kind of stop.
That's true. That's true. I have jokes that I'm still embarrassed that I wrote because they were based on, like, I'm really embarrassed that I wrote a joke based on crack babies, thinking that there weren't crack babies, and that was part of my joke, and then finding out that there are crack babies. I have a few examples of that where it's like, ugh, that's bad.
Yeah, I had this one joke that I wrote, and I tried it once, but I knew it was inappropriate. It was and I've talked about it. It's the Last Temptation of Christ, where I would go, the Last Temptation of Christ, and then I'd throw out my arms like I was on a cross and go, is that chocolate pudding?
That's a good joke.
And I would do.
I know what you mean, but it's a good joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke. And and there was like at least 3 times where I would tell it to a comic, and they go, "I'll do it." And then they go up and do it and get not a really tepid response to it.
Oh, that's really interesting. That you were actually identifying an actual thing that transcended just you doing it.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember a guy named Rob Benton did it once. I know Frank Conniff did it at least once. At least once.
That's great.
So.
I had that bit that people didn't like. What if Benny Hill was in charge of the Holocaust? And people didn't get it.
That's the problem. Sherman Allen says, hey fellas, my 7-year-old makes me play repeatedly the only Kids Court episode I can find, the one about sharing pancakes. Where can a brother find more? I love Thought Spiral. I've heard about 100 eps. Since Andy likes hearing this, I'll mention that listening takes the ennui out of my workout regimen.
Oh, I do. That is all I need. I mean, I'm glad for the rest of the stuff, and that is great. I forgot the question now. So
it was about Kids Court. Unfortunately, we don't have. I just saw that other. I put a clip in last week's show from the where we busted the girl.
Right. Right.
But if they aren't ours to post, I will pass along to Mike Rotman that they're being asked for.
That's good. Yeah.
But it was originally Nerdists who posted it, and they've since taken them down, I think. So, but
is Nerdist gone or it's still around?
I don't. They're around in some thing because I see them on Twitter, but I don't know how going a concern it is anymore.
Duly noted.
All right, I think that's it. If you'd like to support this madness, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral. Buy us a coffee. If you'd go ahead.
Sorry.
What madness would you like them to support, Andy?
Well, here's the thing. You know, a lot of times you think I'm winding up. No, that's not true. This particular time.
So
you know
lame.
why? You know the problem. I would just like to close the show by saying, "Ooh, what crawled up your schmickle and had a hoo-hoo? Raceway Park, funny cars, humor, humor, humor."